The day started like any other on Earth. Humans went about their daily lives, unaware of the dark shadows moving silently above their skies, far beyond the atmosphere. Alien ships glided through space, massive and cold, their sleek metallic surfaces reflecting the light of distant stars. To the aliens, humans were just another primitive species, small, weak, and unremarkable. In the command bridge of the lead ship, the alien leader, called Zyrak, leaned over the holographic map of Earth. His many eyes scanned every detail with precision, calculating, analyzing, and making predictions. "They are weak," Zyrak said, his voice a low hum vibrating in the metal chamber. "Their weapons are primitive. Their minds are limited. This world will be ours in a single strike." Around him, the crew nodded. Drones and scout ships had already been sent to test the humans, and all reports had been the same. Humans were easy to overpower, predictable, and defenseless. Yet, as Zyrak watched from orbit, something small and strange caught his attention. A group of humans had gathered near what appeared to be a factory complex. But instead of fleeing, they were doing something unusual. They were not panicking. They were preparing. Zyrak frowned. Unnecessary. They cannot resist. He waved his tentacle, signaling the drone fleet to move in for a closer look. On Earth, the humans noticed the alien presence, but they were calm. Lieutenant Sarah Miller, a seasoned leader of a small human resistance group, scanned the skies with her binoculars. "They're here," she whispered to her team, "and they don't even realize we are ready." Her words were met with focused silence. Every human knew their task: protect their home at all costs. They had no advanced weapons like the aliens, but they had intelligence, ingenuity, and courage. The first drone descended, sleek and silver, its sensor scanning the humans like a predator observing its prey. The humans waited. They had anticipated this. As the drone reached their position, an electric pulse erupted from a hidden device. Sparks flew. The drone shuddered. Its lights flickered, and then it plummeted to the ground in a smoking heap. Sarah's eyes glimmered with satisfaction. "They are not as invincible as they think," she said. In the alien command ship, panic began to spread. Reports came in one after another. Drones destroyed, equipment sabotaged, small patrol ships failing to return. Zyrak's eyes widened. Impossible. Humans are supposed to be weak. They should flee. A junior officer, trembling, spoke up. "Sir, they are adapting. They are learning our patterns quickly." Zyrak's many faces twisted in disbelief. "Adapt? How?" "They are simple creatures." But as he watched the humans more closely, he saw a disturbing pattern. They were not only defending, they were attacking. They used traps, unexpected strikes, and the environment to their advantage. Small teams would disappear into forests or underground tunnels, only to reappear where least expected, striking drones and soldiers alike. For the first time, Zyrak felt a flicker of doubt. Humans were supposed to be predictable, controllable. Yet here they were, clever, adaptable, and unafraid. On Earth, Sarah led her team through a series of clever maneuvers. They had prepared small explosive traps along the predicted flight paths of alien patrols. They had covered the area with sensors and alarms to detect movement. When the aliens tried to strike at night, the humans were already waiting. A squad of alien soldiers attempted to land near a river, expecting little resistance. But the humans were ready. Trees and rocks were rigged, and nets hidden beneath leaves entangled the first group that stepped forward. Human marksmen attacked from elevated positions, targeting alien sensors and weapons. Within minutes, the alien squad was defeated or captured. This was a turning point. Humans, who were meant to be the prey, had become a threat. Back on the alien ship, Zyrak's crew was in chaos. "They are learning faster than we can predict," an officer shouted. "They are dangerous." Zyrak remained calm on the surface, but inside, his confidence was cracking. He had never faced a species that could turn weakness into strength, that could think 3 steps ahead, that could anticipate alien tactics before they were even executed. He activated the communication channel, send in reinforcements, overwhelm them, crush their will. But as more alien ships approached, they found themselves ambushed at every turn. Humans had studied alien movement patterns carefully. They used camouflage, improvised explosives, and even captured alien weapons to fight back. Each attack was precise, calculated, and devastatingly effective. The aliens began to understand that these humans were not just surviving. They were planning, adapting, and anticipating. Sarah stood on a hill, overlooking the battlefield. The first sunrise of the conflict painted the sky in brilliant red and gold. Smoke rose from destroyed drones and burning alien equipment. She took a deep breath. Humans had won small victories, but this was only the beginning. "Prepare for the next wave," she said calmly. Her team nodded. They had no illusions about the challenges ahead, but for the first time, they felt a surge of hope. They were proving something the aliens had never expected. Humans were not weak. Humans were dangerous. The alien leader, Zyrak, watched from orbit as yet another wave of his forces fell into human traps. His expression was unreadable to his crew, but inside, fear took root. He had never anticipated that such a primitive species could display strategy, bravery, and cunning on this scale. He called his council. "We underestimated them. We believed they would surrender or scatter. But humans, they fight back. They adapt, and they are cleverer than we imagined." One officer dared ask, "Sir, what should we do?" "Retreat." Zyrak's many faces hardened. "No, retreat is not an option. But we must reconsider our approach. Humans are not simple prey. They are a challenge, and we cannot ignore that fact again." As night fell on Earth, humans celebrated small victories quietly. They knew each success came at a cost, and the larger battle was yet to come. Children slept unaware of the war above. Cities remained peaceful to the untrained eye, and life went on. But for those on the front lines, it was a moment of clarity. They were not helpless. They were not weak. Aliens had arrived expecting a simple conquest. Instead, they encountered cunning, fearless humans who refused to bow or run. Every drone destroyed, every patrol ambushed, every victory, small though it might seem, was proof of a growing truth. Humans were not prey. Humans were a force. High above, Zyrak finally admitted the truth he had fought to deny. "They are dangerous," he whispered to himself. "More dangerous than any species we have ever encountered." And in that moment, the unexpected turning point became clear. The war had begun, but the humans were no longer just surviving. They were preparing to change the course of history. For the first time in alien history, a species meant to be insignificant had proven its power. The day the aliens realized humans were real and really dangerous had arrived. The sky above Earth burned with fire and shadow. Alien ships, larger and faster than anything humans had imagined, sliced through the atmosphere. To the aliens, it was supposed to be a simple display of power, a show of dominance to make humans surrender without a fight. But the humans were waiting. Lieutenant Sarah Miller stood on a rocky hill overlooking the valley. Her team crouched beside her, eyes scanning the sky through crude but effective telescopes and binoculars. "They are coming," she said calmly, her voice steady despite the tension. "Remember, they expect us to panic. They expect us to run. But we will fight smart. Every move counts." Around her, men and women of the human resistance checked their weapons, adjusted hidden explosives, and reinforced traps. Each team knew their role. Each move had been planned, measured, and rehearsed. They were not just defending. They were preparing to teach the aliens a lesson they would never forget. Far above, Zyrak hovered in his command ship, confident that this battle would be over quickly. Send in the first wave, he commanded. Alien troops and drones deployed with perfect precision, descending like metallic rain. Their weapons glowed with energy far beyond human technology. To the aliens, this should have been the final show of strength. But humans did not flinch. As the first group of alien soldiers landed near a river, they were met with silence. At first, they thought it was a calm before surrender. Then, without warning, the ground beneath them erupted. Hidden explosives tore through their ranks, flipping drones and knocking soldiers off balance. Trees and boulders, rigged to collapse at the exact right moment, fell on the advancing aliens. Sarah's team moved quickly, firing weapons from elevated positions and taking advantage of every shadow, every rock, every twist in the landscape. They had learned the alien pattern from previous encounters, predicting the timing of movements, the likely landing points, the blind spots in alien sensors. The aliens were caught off guard. Their advanced technology was powerful, but it could not account for human cunning. Panic rippled through the ranks. Zyrak's eyes narrowed. They are not just defending. They are striking back. Impossible. Inside one of the alien ships, panic began to spread. "Sir," a junior officer said, voice trembling. "They are learning. They are predicting our attacks. We cannot adjust fast enough." Zyrak's multiple faces twisted in disbelief. Predict? They are humans. How can a primitive species anticipate the movements of a technologically superior force? The answer became clear as humans continued their assault. They were not fighting blindly. They had observed, studied, and adapted, using improvised devices, traps, and even alien weapons they had salvaged from destroyed drones. Humans were now turning the tide. Each attack was precise, each maneuver unexpected, and it was only the beginning. One of the captured aliens, a small but clever officer named Clyron, was forced to reveal what he knew under careful observation by human scientists. He spoke slowly, fearful of making mistakes. They think differently, he admitted. They are unpredictable. They analyze, adapt, and attack in ways no other species would attempt. Sarah and her team listened intently. They did not need to ask what that meant. Every ambush, every trap, every clever strike had proved it. Humans were no longer simply defending. They were teaching the aliens a lesson in humility. As the day progressed, alien reinforcements poured in, expecting the humans to crumble under superior firepower. But the humans had prepared for this as well. Bridges were rigged to collapse under heavy weight. Valleys had hidden trenches and spikes. Forests were filled with tripwires and alarms. When an alien unit attempted to flank from the north, they walked straight into a trap. Explosions ripped through the line. Drones tumbled from the sky. The soldiers panicked, unaccustomed to a species that could anticipate, adapt, and strike without hesitation. Zyrak, observing the battlefield from orbit, clenched his tentacles in frustration. They are organized and fearless. Why do they not flee? The answer was simple. Humans had no intention of surrendering. They had learned in the first skirmishes that fear could be used as a weapon, but only against those who underestimated them. The aliens had made that mistake, and now they were paying the price. Back on Earth, Sarah led a small team deep into the forest, moving silently behind enemy lines. They had discovered a weak point in the alien formation, a storage depot holding advanced weapons and energy supplies. "This is our chance," Sarah whispered. "If we can destroy this, it will cripple their next wave. Follow my lead and stay silent." The team advanced with precision, using darkness and terrain to their advantage. They avoided patrols, disabled sensors, and reached the depot without being detected. Then, in a coordinated strike, explosives hidden in the undergrowth detonated. The depot erupted in a blaze of fire and energy, destroying alien supplies and forcing a retreat. The humans returned to base as heroes, but there was no time for celebration. The aliens would regroup, stronger than before. The humans had won the skirmish, but the war was far from over. Meanwhile, Zyrak convened a council of his top commanders. "They are not just fighting, they are learning. They are using our own tactics against us. We have underestimated their intelligence, and that is a grave mistake." One officer dared to speak. "Sir, perhaps we should withdraw, regroup, and reconsider our approach." Zyrak's many faces hardened. "No, retreat is weakness. We will adapt, but we must respect one fact. Humans are dangerous, more dangerous than any species we have ever encountered." That night, humans celebrated quietly under the stars. Children slept unaware of the war raging above. Cities remained peaceful to those not involved, and life went on. But for the humans on the front lines, there was a new sense of pride. They had survived the first major attack. They had resisted an enemy far stronger than themselves. And they had proven something critical. Humans could fight back. Sarah looked at her team and smiled faintly. "They think we are weak," she said. "They are learning the truth. We are not easy prey, and we will not stay silent while they try to take our world." The next morning, the alien leader observed from orbit once more. The humans had done the impossible. They had resisted, adapted, and struck back. His fleet was damaged, morale was low, and his confidence shaken. For the first time in his long career, Zyrak faced uncertainty. "They are more than I imagined," he muttered. "They are unpredictable, clever, dangerous." And with that, he realized the day had changed. Humans were no longer just survivors. They were warriors. They were strategists. They were a force the aliens could not ignore. The war had only begun, but the unexpected resistance had turned the tide in a way no one, not even the humans themselves, could have predicted. Sarah and her team continued to plan. Each victory, each small success, built confidence and unity. They knew the aliens would return, stronger, smarter, and more determined. But humans were ready. They had learned the value of patience, intelligence, and teamwork. And they had learned something else. No matter how strong the enemy, underestimating humans was the greatest mistake any species could make. As dawn broke over the horizon, the human forces gathered for a meeting. "We survived the first wave," Sarah said, looking at her team, "but this is only the beginning. They will come again, and we will be ready. We will adapt, fight, and protect our home, no matter what it takes." Her words were simple, but they carried weight. They reminded every human present that they were no longer helpless. They were a species capable of great courage, great intelligence, and great danger. Far above, the alien ships regrouped. Zyrak's eyes scanned the planet below. "They are not just humans," he said softly. "They are something else entirely. And we will need more than strength to defeat them." For the first time, the aliens faced a species they could not simply overpower. A species that would not bend. A species that would fight, adapt, and survive. And that species was human. The morning sky over Earth glowed faintly pink as the first alien ships appeared on the horizon. Unlike the previous attacks, this was not a routine reconnaissance or a simple landing attempt. This was a full assault, a show of force meant to crush human resistance once and for all. But the humans were ready. Lieutenant Sarah Miller stood on a ridge overlooking the valley, her eyes scanning the massive fleet, descending from the clouds. "They think we will panic," she whispered. "They think fear will control us. They are wrong." Her team moved silently behind her, each member carrying weapons, devices, and plans that even the aliens could not have predicted. They had spent weeks analyzing alien patterns, learning from every previous skirmish, and adapting human technology to counter the aliens' superior firepower. This time, humans were not just defending, they were striking back. The first wave of aliens landed near the outskirts of a ruined city. Their energy weapons glowed with deadly precision. Alien drones hovered overhead, scanning for movement, ready to annihilate any human they detected. But humans had prepared. Hidden tunnels beneath the city allowed teams to move unseen. Abandoned buildings had been rigged with explosives, tripwires, and flamethrowers built from repurposed technology. As the alien soldiers advanced, the city erupted in chaos. Explosions ripped through streets. Drones plummeted from the sky, and alien soldiers were thrown into confusion. Sarah led a strike team through a collapsed subway tunnel. From below, they could see the aliens panicking above ground. "They don't expect an attack from this angle," she murmured. "Let's remind them humans fight smarter than they think." With precise timing, her team emerged behind a group of alien soldiers, firing weapons and setting off small shock charges. The aliens, superior in strength and technology, found themselves caught in a trap. Every step forward brought another challenge. Humans striking from shadows, using terrain, and turning alien strategies against them. High above, Zyrak's command ship hovered, observing the chaos. He had expected humans to be clever, but not this clever. His elite troops were being slaughtered, not by superior technology, but by strategy, cunning, and unpredictable moves. "They are adapting faster than we can anticipate," muttered a junior officer, panic creeping into his voice. "How can such a primitive species fight like this?" Zyrak's many faces twisted in thought. "They are learning. They are studying us. And they are turning our own strength against us. This is not supposed to happen." The truth was undeniable. Humans were not only surviving, they were dominating in ways no one could predict it. Meanwhile, Sarah's team reached a key alien supply hub. It was heavily guarded, filled with energy packs, weapons, and communication devices. This was the heart of the alien operation on this front, and destroying it could cripple the enemy's advance. "We take this out and the tide turns," Sarah said to her team. "Move quietly. Strike fast." They advanced with careful precision, using darkness, shadows, and silence as allies. Alien patrols passed within meters without noticing them. Then, in one coordinated strike, explosives hidden under the hub detonated. The structure exploded in flames, sending alien soldiers flying and destroying the energy supplies. Back on the ridge, humans watching through scopes cheered quietly. The enemy's power was faltering, and humans were gaining momentum. The aliens, however, were not defeated yet. Zyrak summoned his most elite units, determined to crush human resistance personally. These soldiers were faster, stronger, and equipped with weapons capable of incinerating anything in seconds. But humans had anticipated this as well. Teams set up ambushes in forests, mountains, and river valleys. Every path the aliens could take was covered with traps, mines, and human sharpshooters. The elite alien units found themselves hunted, disoriented, and defeated by a species they had assumed would be helpless. Zyrak's frustration grew. His fleet was damaged, morale was low, and every attempt to overwhelm humans ended in disaster. "They are not just fighting," he admitted quietly. "They are planning, predicting, and countering every move. How is this possible?" Deep in the human command center, Sarah analyzed reports from multiple teams. Humans had captured alien communication devices, giving them insight into alien tactics and coordination. They used this information to anticipate attacks, sabotage supply lines, and launch precise strikes. "They think they control the battlefield," Sarah said, "but we know every move they make. It's time to remind them humans are not prey. Humans are predators." The humans launched a coordinated assault on the largest alien encampment. From underground tunnels, rooftops, and forests, they struck with speed and precision. Alien soldiers found themselves surrounded, attacked from multiple angles, and unable to retreat. Drones fell from the sky, energy shields failed, and the once confident army of aliens began to crumble. Zyrak could no longer ignore the reality. Humans were not weak. Humans were not predictable. Humans were clever, adaptive, and fearless. Every attack, every victory, reinforced the truth he had denied for too long. This species was dangerous beyond measure. "Prepare the fleet for withdrawal," he commanded reluctantly. "We underestimated them. This is not over, but we must reconsider our approach." For the first time, the aliens faced a defeat, not just tactical, but psychological. They had come to conquer, and instead, they had been outsmarted by humans. Back on Earth, humans regrouped after the battle. The city was scarred, but their spirits were high. "We've done more than survive," Sarah told her team. "We've shown them we are not prey. We've shown them that underestimating humans is a mistake they will never make again." Her team nodded, understanding the weight of her words. They had faced a technologically superior enemy, adapted quickly, and struck back with precision. Every success, every small victory, strengthened their resolve, and they knew the aliens would return. At night, Sarah walked to the battlefield, observing the wreckage of alien machines and the burned remnants of their weapons. Humans had proven something extraordinary. They were not just survivors. They were intelligent, adaptive, and capable of taking the fight to the strongest enemy the galaxy had sent. Children slept quietly in nearby shelters, unaware of the war above their heads. Cities were quiet to the untrained eye, but the humans on the front lines knew the truth. Their victories had changed everything. They had turned the battle from defense into offense, from survival into dominance. And they had done it with courage, cunning, and unity. The alien leader, Zyrak, looked down on the planet from orbit one last time before retreat. His fleet had been beaten, his troops demoralized, and his confidence shattered. "They are not just humans," he whispered to himself. "They are something else entirely. Something dangerous. Something we cannot underestimate again." With that, the alien ships pulled back into the sky, leaving the humans to their world. But this was not a victory of peace. It was a warning. The war had shifted. The humans had seized the initiative, and the aliens had learned painfully that no species should be underestimated. Sarah addressed her team as the sun rose the next morning. "We've taken the fight to them," she said. "We've struck where they thought we were weak. But this is only the beginning. They will come again, And we must be ready. Every plan, every trap, every strategy must be sharper than ever. Her team understood. They were no longer just defending humanity. They were defining it. Every human, no matter how small or unarmed, had a part to play. Together, they were a force that could adapt, innovate, and overcome. The aliens had learned something crucial. Humans were unpredictable, relentless, and deadly when pushed. And the humans knew the truth as well. They were no longer victims. They were warriors, predators in their own right. Far above, Zyrak's fleet moved silently back into orbit, damaged and shaken. He looked at the humans below and muttered, "They are not just a species. They are a storm. And the galaxy has never faced a storm like them before." For the humans, the battle was over for now. But the war had entered a new phase. They had struck back, shown their strength, and revealed the truth to the aliens. Underestimate humans at your own peril. The world had changed. The humans had changed. And the aliens would never make the mistake of seeing them as weak again. The dawn sky glimmered with streaks of silver and orange, but it was not the light of peace that illuminated Earth. From above, alien ships descended again, larger and faster than ever before. Zyrak's fleet, scarred from previous battles, now came with renewed fury, determined to reclaim control and punish the humans for their insolence. But this time, it would not be so easy. Lieutenant Sarah Miller stood on a cliff overlooking the battlefield, her team behind her. The wind whipped through her hair, carrying the distant hum of alien engines. She looked at her people, her friends, her warriors. "This is the day," she said firmly. "The day they realize humans are not just fighters. We are a force they cannot ignore. Today, we take the fight to them, and we show them our true power." Her team nodded, eyes burning with determination. Each human present understood the stakes. The aliens had come to conquer, but humans had already learned their tactics, weaknesses, and strategies. Today, humans would not only defend, they would dominate. The aliens landed near a vast open plain. They thought they had learned from previous mistakes, but humans had anticipated every move. Hidden in the valleys were human battalions, camouflaged and ready. The forests surrounding the plain were rigged with traps, mines, and ambush points. The first shots fired, and the battle erupted with shocking intensity. Alien energy weapons illuminated the sky, but humans did not falter. They darted from cover to cover, striking where least expected, using guerrilla tactics, improvised explosives, and even recovered alien tech against invaders. Zyrak's fleet above watched with disbelief. "They are not just resisting, they are hunting," he muttered. "How is it possible?" Sarah led her team through the chaos. They had discovered a weak point. The alien command ship, orbiting above, relied on a network of energy relays on the ground. If these relays were destroyed, alien communications would collapse, and their coordination would fall apart. "We hit the relays," Sarah instructed. "It's risky, but it's our chance. Without them, they cannot control the battlefield." Her team moved swiftly and silently, using confusion of the main battle to their advantage. The sky above was filled with explosions and smoke, masking their approach. When they reached the first relay, a massive structure of glowing alien energy, they set their charges carefully. The second stretched as they retreated to a safe distance. Then, with a deafening roar, the relay exploded. Energy arcs cracked through the air, and nearby alien troops were thrown into disarray. The other relays followed in rapid succession, leaving the alien fleet orbiting above Earth blind and uncoordinated. Panic rippled through the alien ranks. Troops no longer had guidance. Drones collided midair, and energy shields faltered. Zyrak's face twisted in frustration and disbelief. They destroyed our networks. How? Humans are impossible. But humans were not done. The real strike was yet to come. Sarah had saved her most daring plan for last. A concentrated strike at the heart of the alien fleet. Using captured alien craft, modified with human ingenuity, teams launched from multiple hidden bases, approaching the alien ships undetected. Explosions tore through the first wave of alien cruisers. Humans moved like shadows, precise and deadly, hitting vital engines and weapon systems. Aliens scrambled to respond, but every attack was anticipated and countered. The battlefield became chaos incarnate. Humans were small in number, but immense in strategy. They were everywhere, striking, disappearing, and reappearing like ghosts. Every alien soldier and drone that had once been confident now faced an enemy that could predict, adapt, and counter anything they attempted. Zyrak, desperate, attempted to rally his forces, concentrate fire on them, destroy the humans before they overwhelm us. But it was too late. The humans had already turned his tactics against him. They attacked from angles he had not even considered. Alien forces collided with one another in confusion. Ships collided midair. Drones fell like raindrops. Alien morale shattered as they realized the species they had deemed weak was now dictating the course of the battle. Sarah watched from a ridge as the alien command ship struggled to stabilize. She knew this was the moment. With one final coordinated strike, human forces on the ground, in the air, and through modified alien ships focused every attack on Zyrak's flagship. Explosions erupted along the hull, energy shields collapsed, and the mighty command ship began to falter. Zyrak's tentacles shook with rage and disbelief. They cannot be defeated, he roared. But they were. The flagship, the symbol of alien power, crashed into the mountains with a deafening explosion. The ground shook, clouds of dust and fire filling the sky. The remaining alien ships, now leaderless and disorganized, had no choice but to retreat. On the battlefield, humans cheered, exhausted but victorious. They had done the impossible. They had taken the fight to the enemy, struck decisively, and proven that humans were not just a species to survive. They were a species to be feared and respected. In the aftermath, Sarah walked among her people. The battlefield was scarred, buildings ruined, and the sky still thick with smoke. Yet, for every wound and every loss, there was victory and resilience. Humans had won not through sheer strength, but through intelligence, strategy, and unity. Children and civilians, who had hidden in shelters during the battle, emerged to see the outcome. They had witnessed something extraordinary. Humans fighting not just for survival, but for dominance, using cleverness and courage to achieve the impossible. High above, the surviving alien fleet regrouped in orbit. Zyrak looked down at the humans below, his many faces a mixture of fear, respect, and disbelief. They are not just strong, he admitted softly. They are predators. They are cunning. They are unstoppable. For the first time, the aliens saw humans as equals, maybe even superior in unpredictability and strategy. The species they had come to conquer had shattered their arrogance and rewritten the rules of engagement. Back on Earth, Sarah addressed her team. "We've won today," she said, her voice strong. "But remember this, our strength is in our unity, our courage, and our intelligence. The galaxy may send others, and we must always be ready. But we have proven one truth. Humans are not weak. Humans are dangerous, and we will never be underestimated again." Her words were simple, but powerful. They reminded every human present that the war had changed. The humans were no longer prey, no longer underdogs. They were a force to be reckoned with, a species capable of confronting any challenge and prevailing through ingenuity, courage, and willpower. Over the next days, humans repaired their cities, tended to the wounded, and reinforced their defenses. They had survived a war with a species far superior in technology and power. They had adapted, learned, and struck decisively. And the galaxy took notice. Messages from other civilizations, previously dismissive of humans, now spoke in cautious tones. The humans who had been underestimated were now feared, respected, and recognized as a species not to be trifled with. Sarah stood once more on a cliff overlooking the horizon. The sun rose in brilliant colors, a symbol of a new era. She looked at the children playing in the distance, the repaired buildings, and the quiet hum of recovery. Humans had faced the impossible and emerged victorious. "They will never underestimate us again," she whispered. "We are humans. We are survivors. And we are unstoppable." Far above, Zyrak's fleet retreated into deep space, damaged and defeated. His species had learned a hard lesson. Never dismiss the unpredictable, the clever, and the relentless. And for humans, the day marked a turning point. They had faced an enemy from the stars and proven that underestimating them was the gravest mistake any species could make. The battle was over, but the story of humans, fearless, cunning, and unstoppable, would echo through the galaxy forever.